Before we continue with this clip, this video has been brought to you by GoFiber. These are hair building fibers you can use to mask any thinning or patchy areas on your scalp to make your hair look thicker and better. So make sure you check out the link in the video description below where you can visit GoFiber, get a free sample of your choice and try them out. See if you like them. So many of you guys have been asking me, like, Matt, do a video on Chris Bumstead's hair transplant he went to Turkey 6-7 months ago. And right now, I think it's like 6 months in, and the hairline has been getting some decent regrowth. The problem is I don't know how many follicles he got. Probably he was not told either. Like in Turkey, you don't always get to know this number, which is an unfortunate. You should always, by the way, know how many grafts you get, singles, doubles, triples, and the whole breakdown. But the point of this discussion is, like, if we opened his last picture here with Killian, it was 4th of June, so it's a recent one, and this is around 6-month mark. So we can already see that the hairline is thick enough for it to be maybe even the final result. And I don't know how you think about it, Killian, but I've seen
it's transplant.
Yeah, but before, have a look at it for a minute.
You can tell it's a transplant immediately because the angulation and directionality is it's noticeable, and it tends to stick up, and it's quite pluggy looking, I would say, to look at it. There's probably doubles or triples in it.
Of course.
Also, it's very abrupt in terms of integration with a disconnect to the side region. Yeah, I don't like the closure.
Like if we zoom in, you almost can see as if the hair on the hairline close to the frontotemporal region is as dark and thick as his beard, and then if you look at his temple, it's like softer and a light brownish. So that's where you can see that these are definitely doubles and triples.
I'd love to see the donor.
Yeah. The donor could be interesting to look at. I think he's gonna have good donor, but I don't know how they took it or homogenized it. That would be the thing. But I see these types of results, and they could camouflage it easily when the hair is longer, so you don't see those imperfections. But once you do a buzz cut, say a centimeter, that's like the Mike Thurston is wearing, maybe shorter than this on top. This is where you see those, what we call it, horns.
The artificial.
Artificial, and it sticks out next to that hair on the sides. It just doesn't blend. Yeah.
It's discrepant completely.
Yeah. Do you think it can be fixed?
I don't think it can be fixed. I think fixed is the wrong word, but I think it can be improved probably easily enough because it doesn't look like, it's a hard picture to judge, but you need to see it in real life. But I'd say what is that?
This is actually the image where he can actually mask it a little bit, because he kind of combs it forward.
So some more grafting there, but with better angulation directionality will camouflage this. You can help push some of the remaining hairs into a new orientation. Now they come out a little, but it requires a lot of grafts, and that means his donor's going to be hit again, which will cause even more discrepancy.
This is the image when...
I see what you mean.
Yeah, this was like in the growing phase, and you see the definition in the hairline, like the straight across thing.
Yeah. And I think almost like with his face, I actually kind of think a straight hairline suits him, but it's a bit...
It's too sharp. But I'm surprised that his hair loss is actually quite, not that bad, considering that this guy's going through, he's taking some anabolic steroids, and he's going from different androgenic environment, and then you have also like heavy dieting that puts so much stress on your hair, and you get hair loss just by dieting to 4% body fat. If we ask Chris in 10 years, like what you wish you would have done differently, I think it would be like what I told you before. Like I wished I had done maybe 1700, did a little bit more matured hairline, and not something like that distinct.
Live and learn. That's
exactly
what it is, but you can't undo it. The aging of a transplant, and I feel like guys don't consider this, is going to have a significant emotional impact on you, and it's either going to be positive or very, very, very negative. Right. Every decision you have to live with.
Yeah.
And the safest thing to do is no surgery, but let's be realistic here. Everyone wants to do surgery at some point, and there's no point in saying don't get surgery, don't get surgery, don't get surgery. It's not how the world works. Everyone wants a transplant, and
Yeah.
even if you say to them, they'll just go off and get one. So all you can do is kind of give the best advice to minimize risk.
For sure.
That propensity for error to occur, and that's like what we've discussed kind of today. Get on medical therapy, the right stuff, do smaller sessions, make sure that you have an eye that's developed for the donor and to appreciate the donor, its identity, and not destroy it over time, and then ultimately go to a surgeon who will implement the correct angulation and directionality.
Yeah. Also, one thing that I would like to add on, if somebody goes, seeks a hair transplant in Turkey, the one weakness I see with Turkish clinics is that the planning, and we can see it on Chris Bumstead as well, like the planning is poor.
Very
Because we have seen,
disconnect.
it's like disconnected from what's gonna happen for him in the future. Like not gonna make sense. And other clinics do it like this. Like they see you, they start doing stuff. They're good at working, but not necessarily at planning, seeing the future, seeing possible obstacles coming, and kind of making sense of all that and translating all that into a right design. And that's what they're not good at. So my advice would be to seek more help and more consultations from different experts, maybe in your country. Even if you don't want to go there, like at least get a consultation, in-person checkup. You get a hairline idea what makes sense, because these doctors sometimes, not always, but often tends to be more conservative or more realistic, and then translate that design and do it somewhere where maybe you feel they're going to do it for better money, better price quality ratio. But I tell you, you have to do that planning, and it takes longer time. You invest your time into that. You got to visit more doctors. It's annoying because you're not getting any work done. It's like you come from them, just had a talk and that's it. But it's value, trust me, because then you're going to use it with the doctor you think is good, and he's going to do the exact thing. Because in Turkey, they assume you want to do it the Turkish style. That's why they don't give you any flexible designs. They give you the same thing like everybody
Production
almost
line.
Because they
Different
assume
components.
once you inquire Turkish clinic, you want this. And of course there are some exceptions, and that's what I try to do during my calls, to find doctors where the flexibility, where they can really work artistically. But number of these clinics is decreasing progressively because they are getting older. They are not going to be working anymore, and if they don't train new people, they're not going to be doctors like that working in Turkey in 10 years at all. And it's going to be just the
Turkish model.
Just the quality.
It's become what it shouldn't be, which is you should be with a doctor who gets to know you and does no harm, and ultimately you become their patient. And there's a relationship. They will always only care for you and give you the best medicine for, in this case, which is aesthetically. And just like any other doctor would. This has veered into a sphere where it's not the practice of medicine. It's where you go to a production facility as if they're assembling a damn car or something, and they have different components, and there's this disconnect communication I feel between these components from talking to people who've gone to Turkey, whereas the person who's doing the extractions hasn't communicated with the person who's designed the hairline, and there's not one doctor looking after the entire scope who's going to know you for years and be involved in your case and plan and strategize and say, I think this is not the best for you.